Dr. T. I'm a tech trainer and career coach, and I help professionals transition to tech by leveraging their existing skills and abilities. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the product owner role and preparing for the product owner interview. Now, if you remember in some of our other videos, we talked about the product owner role being a very critical role, being the content authority and the decision making authority on a Scrum team. So, in preparing for an interview, we need to focus on those critical skills like decision making, communications, stakeholder management, critical thinking, and design thinking as we prepare for answering the interview questions. But the method that we want to use in preparing for a product owner interview is the STAR method. The STAR method is a behavior based approach to answering questions within an interview. So, STAR stands for situation, task, action, and results. In the situation, you are talking about the specific activity or work challenge that you were able to utilize your skills to master or overcome. The task is where you talk about the goal that you had to achieve in that situation. And then the action is the steps you took to complete the task. And you round out your answer with the results. So that's the outcome of the answers of the actions that you took. So let's take a look at a question that you might get on a product owner interview. The question is, describe a situation where you had to prioritize conflicting stakeholder requirements. So the challenge here is that you had a set of conflicting requirements and everyone felt like what they wanted was most important. So it was up to you, the product owner, to help prioritize and set the direction for the team in terms of delivering that value and that quality. So you could start out with painting the situation, kind of reflecting back to the question and saying that you were a product owner and you were responsible for an existing well-performing product. So that tells the interviewer that this is a high priority product and you have a set of stakeholders who want to get their features in first to take advantage of this well-performing product and the impacts it would make to their department or team. So you further talk about the situation by telling the interviewer that each team had a specific set of requirements. So there's two teams. There's a marketing team, and they wanted a feature that captured product review details on screen in support of upselling. So the marketing team wants to look for a way to continue to make that a well-performing product by actually referring other products while the customer may be reviewing the product or considering buying it. The engineering team, on the other hand, wanted to prioritize a feature that would benefit from infrastructure scaling improvements. So it sounds like the company had the opportunity to do some infrastructure planning and take on some equipment or resources that would help further scale this product along the way. And as new features were added, the product would be able to take up this new infrastructure capability that had been recently deployed. So you set this situation where you have a product that's doing pretty well and you have ability to improve sale of the product, but you also have the ability to take advantage of economy of scales from an infrastructure perspective. So that's the situation. So what was your task in that situation? Well, you were responsible for prioritizing the product feature that provided the most value. So now you've got to look at the benefit of each of these features One is about, well, they both have some financial impacts because the marketing feature talked about the upsell potential, so to keep adding on and potentially referring and recommending products. And then the engineering, taking advantage of the economies of scale of infrastructure. So you move on to action. So you had this task of prioritizing. So what actions did you take? So you say, well, I wanted to resolve this conflict, but I had to gather feedback from everyone. I have the marketing and engineering teams here, but I also reach out to the product manager. The product manager owns the strategy for the product. And then you have these two teams that have a vital role in the product success as well, marketing team and engineering. So you met with each of these teams and you met with the product manager and you compiled data based on your feedback because you held a meeting with each of these stakeholders. And the purpose of the meeting was to talk about, here's the information I got from the product manager, the marketing team, and the engineering team, and now I want to pull you together to discuss my findings and explain the trade-offs. So here, remember, you are a critical thinker and you are a decision maker. So you've got to get data. Your decision needs to be based on data, not emotion, but clear-cut data. And so you gathered information from the product manager in terms of, reminding you of the strategy, the marketing team, and they most likely gave you details on, the sale potential and the increase in potential of sales with this new feature. In engineering, probably answered any questions you had about the infrastructure and how could the product be scaled further along with this new infrastructure that's in place as well. So you took all of that information and you consolidated, but then you also talked to the project manager who has the responsibility of managing the scope, the schedule, and the costs related to the project. And you found out that the project manager was looking to add on tasks and in support of this regulation that they knew was coming down the pipe and that they would have to comply with. But the regulation was pending, but a part of the project planning for a new project, this project manager was looking at, well, we were able to get information on this regulatory compliance requirements, but we found that this infrastructure that will be in place will also help us to have an audit trail plugin that would be a way for us to demonstrate our compliance when this regulatory information and these requirements come out related to this new regulation. So now you've done this analysis, you have gathered information, you've interpreted data. Now it's time for you to make your decision. So you made the decision to prioritize those items that were traceable to the technical feature as high. And you did that because of the economies of scale that related to this infrastructure, but that it also helped meet a regulatory requirement. And you know as the product owner how important cybersecurity or data privacy is for the organization and to be included in this solution. So you made the decision based on the information that you had, and you relied on your strong communication skills, your stakeholder manager skills to get to the core of what is the key benefit here. And then you use that information to go back to the backlog and say, okay, this is best for the product. This is best for the team to focus on. So let me make these items traceable to the technical feature high, indicate them as high and rank them high in our backlog. For the marketing items, you made those features low. So that's an indication to the team to focus on these technical features first and then keep these marketing features as a low in terms of if there is time and there's not anything that will suffer in this increment, go ahead and start thinking about these items. You also tell the interviewer that you covered this reprioritization in the next sprint planning session, because you know that as your role as the product owner, you are clarifying any questions and bringing to the team any focus on new priorities in sprint planning. That's your role in the sprint planning session. Lastly, you give your interviewer the outcome of the situation, the task, and the action. That's your results. So you talk about the fact that during the next sprint, because you gave that reprioritization based on the data-driven decision that you made, the engineering feature was fully delivered during that increment. That was the next sprint. But that the team also started looking at what dependencies would need to be in place and met for the marketing team to support that testing of the new feature. And in doing that, they probably got the Scrum Master's help in submitting a dependency tracker form so that the tool could be the form could be ready for an upcoming sprint to allow for UAT support from that marketing team so that their feature could actually be included and in the upcoming sprint. So here you've walked the stakeholders through your ability to manage a critical and conflicting set of stakeholders who wanted their items prioritized first. You did some data analysis, you gathered some information from various sources, and then you took that information, synthesized it, and made a decision. You didn't stop there because you knew that in that you needed to go back to the team and help them understand what the scope was, what the new priority was, and then you gave them the insight needed to create their user stories, perform the work, and while also thinking ahead and putting that dependency tracker in place so that they would identify who on the marketing team could actually come in and test those features once they got them implemented. So here you walked the interviewer through your transferable skills and you've shown that you are a viable candidate. If you have any questions about the product owner role or how you would answer a set of product owner interview questions, leave us a message below. And again, thanks for your time, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.